If you've been made irrelevant or you lost your job because of the pandemic, what would be going through your mind? Know all about it in 3 questions with Anil Thomas. But first, subscribe to this channel and be sure you click the bell so you are invited to every exclusive premiere we have every other day. Hello viewers, it's an absolute delight to welcome Anil Thomas on 3 questions today. And Anil is the Chief Operating Officer of BrainCiti. He's been a technical, he'll tell you more about exactly how technical he was with Emirates, for God's sake, all his life. And as recently as October 2020, right? Was that October?
Yeah.
In the middle of the pandemic, this gentleman has pivoted completely from a role where he was with an airline to a role where he's managing a huge network. That is inspirational, if nothing else. Anil, please tell our viewers what went through your mind when you did something like that. How did you conceive that, and how did you pull that through in such difficult times?
Sandeep thank you. Thank you for reaching out to me. Yeah, as you rightly said, I am coming from an airline background. But the question, that term that you used, is a household name for me because it's coming from an airline background. It's interesting you referred me as a pandemic pivot. Coming to the planning part of it, yeah, let me talk about my role in the airline. So I was a technical person, definitely. I was working for the A380 fleet, and the A380 fleet is the most affected fleet today. Okay, and most of the A380 aircraft are all around the world now grounded. So hence now I'm out of airline industry, and the planning part of it. Let me be very candid here, and that is something that what a person to do to survive. Okay, forget about survival, and forget about survival, or even you can't even thrive in this kind of environment. That's a thought came into my mind first. Most of us are prepared hard for the future we expected, and yet when it comes to our own life, okay, today things are working out, not working as out, as we had planned. That's the same even when you are laid off. The same thing, stuff by all means, but I always believe in the human capacity. I talk about the human capacity. I study human capacity, human brain. The humans are wired to survive. Okay, many examples are there right in front of me, right in front of you. So the hardwired human, they exist, and that help us, us floating. So the entire biological system supports you, and the universe supports you. So you are a man researching onto the nature and stuff like that. So the universe supports you. And what do I mean by universe? Like I believe in God, so I'm a believer of God. So then it is. If you don't believe in God, then it is universe or some other name or the neural circuits, law of attraction, whatever you call it for. So that supports. So for me, the whole planning was on 3 Gs. I will call it as 3 Gs. Okay, greenery, gravity, and ground. When you are in trouble, these things you need to think of gravity, greenery, and ground. Ground. What do I mean by gravity?
Yeah.
There are some natural forces, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. You cannot fight against the natural forces.
Mm-hmm.
You accept the law of forces. Okay. Then you work around. The second thing is the greenery. I don't think the green is on the other side. Green is all over, everywhere.
Right.
Green is all over. No, I don't believe. Okay, the other side of the world, other side of your life, other side of your job is all green. No, green is all over. You got to go out and find your new greens. Then the ground, stay grounded. These are the 3 things for me. Survival mantra.
Fantastic. Yeah. So basically, what you're telling us is that anybody can look at staying grounded, getting their perspective that the grass is greener on my side too, and that gives the person the flexibility to go with the laws of nature. That's so deep, and that's what you went through. I am an energy master, and I work with people on this concept of grounding because it is so extremely powerful in acknowledging where you are, and you give yourself a hard ground from where you can leap anywhere. And I would add another G there, the G of gratitude. Because when you
Okay.
are grateful for where you are, you've got the hard ground. You can't say, I will be grateful when I get that job. You got to be grateful for the fact that you've got a square meal coming in today. That's about it. That's so very important. Or even if one doesn't have that, be grateful for wherever you are because that's the hard ground. And from there, you will be able to jump to being grateful for the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. Awesome. But in spite of all these G's, there are so many people who are losing their jobs every day. What
Yeah.
is the kind of advice that you would give to somebody in that situation? How do they create a better future for themselves?
Uh, yeah, that's a very very good question. So relevant. My entire team. So we moved out. Okay, so that was actually a bit of kind of a disaster for us. But I don't have an advice, but I have a request. I have a very very humble request to all of them, to my friends and to others, millions of people around the world. Just be mindful. Okay, that is the first thing that you need to do. Being mindful is not simply being alert. Okay, be mindful. Okay, I'm learning a lot about mindfulness now. It's paying attention very carefully to your environment. Okay, you live in an environment, a lot of things are happening around you, and a lot of people moving around you. They are there to support you, they're not to destroy you. Just be mindful and understand the rhythm, understand the pulse of this world. Mindfulness can have a positive impact on both your personal, not only personal life, even on your professional life. I think most of the corporates, you're coming from the corporate world, I believe. So they have realized this and they are teaching the mindfulness now in the corporate world as well. So this is the only request that I have to, or I have for the millions of people around, or maybe to my friends around. Just be mindful. Just be mindful. That's all I can tell you. Just be mindful. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. That is you've touched a chord deep inside me, Anil, by saying that. Mindfulness, in fact, has become kind of fashionable in corporate these days, but it was the Buddha 2500 years ago who gave a 16-step path to mindfulness. And just for the benefit of our viewers, you say it because you practice it, Anil, but mindfulness is about being remembering, in the memory of, minding it, that we are in abundance. When you can remember to be in abundance, all these problems that you seem to be plagued with will go away. And again, this brings me to the third question, because that is really the crack of stress. I have almost made a mission to create a stress-free world by people renewing themselves at a mind-body-spirit level. But you, Anil, are the chief operating officer today, and that we all know is a really stressful position. How do you handle stress? How do you get your teams to realize that there are ways? And don't tell me that mindfulness is what you practice with the teams. Exactly, how do you diagnose it, and how do your teams self-regulate themselves? How's it happening?
That's a very very good question. Not just a good question. It's a very powerful question. Not as a CEO. CEO is a title.
Okay.
More than it's a responsibility. I took it as a responsibility. A title can be anything, but what you do with that title, that's more important to me. So the first thing, let me come on to my personal side. So when I was working for an airline, okay, I go to office, get up in the morning and go to office, and then the 8 hours I spent in the office, and already the tasks are set. So all I have to just perform it. They review my performance, and the end of the month or end of the year, they say, "Oh, you did it very well," or and so and so. So, but coming to Brain City, the first thing that I have to plan my 8 hours first, and now I need to see what I'm going to do, and is it going to help me and my company? So this is the most stressful thing. You can spend your 8 hours the way you want it,
Yeah.
but how is it going to help you? How is it going to help your team? How is it going to? I have a bunch of smart people around me. Okay, so I don't have to worry much because I have people coming from the marketing side, people coming from the technical side. I have a good group of people with me. So the company, as a company, we are a bunch of smart people. So the planning my 8 hours, okay, is it going to help me? Is it going to help the brain city? That is the main thing that I'm always worried, and that's how I look at it. So mindfulness, of course, is not for practicing the job. We have our regular team meetings. Yes, the pressure is building up at times. Like you need to go out to this world and make your life story or make your success story. So this
Right.
is definitely a stressful activity, but we enjoy it. All of us, not just me, my entire team, enjoying this activity. And on a daily basis, we have our team meetings. We talk to each other. We try to understand, okay, where do we stand and what do we do next, and this is how we go. And at the moment, I am enjoying this role.
Fascinating. So, if I were to sum that up in one word, you are finding enjoyment in your day to day stress by getting on a purposeful day. You've got a kind of list of a clarity of what you have to achieve today, and you encourage your people to do the same thing. Mindfully, of course, because they remember that this is what we are here to do and staying steady with purpose. Have I understood that right?
Absolutely, you're right. You got me right.
Fantastic. That's a perfect crack. Anil, I am so thankful that you are here on this program today. And viewers, now it's for you. Get into the LCSS, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Do that. Make sure you click on the bell so that you get notified of the next episode right there in your mailbox. See you till
Thank
then.
Thank you, Sanjay ji, for reaching out to me. I mean, thanks for your initiative. Thanks for everything that you do for the society. Thank you very much.
And thanks for being on the show with us. Great day, everybody.